Hello and welcome. My name is Renee. Today is all about the throat chakra, the fifth chakra. As we are moving up the body through the chakras, the practice today is going to be much more grounded. We're going to stay grounded because as we move into the fifth, sixth, and seventh chakra, it gets to be a little bit deeper into the spirit and the mind part of it. Obviously, our bodies are our vessels, so the body part is still very relevant, but we're starting to get a little bit more into the emotional and spiritual aspects and the inner workings of the yogi. So today's practice is actually going to be very grounded compared to the last 4 videos. So that might also be a relief to some of you if you've done the other 4 videos, and especially if you're doing them all in a row, it's time to take a little bit of a break and ground down just a little bit more. So we're going to start out actually on our knees. A nice prop for today is I rolled up 2 beach towels, not just one, but 2 beach towels to get a nice thick bolster. And then I tied it with some twine or any other string to kind of keep it together. Obviously you could use yoga blocks and props, but I understand that not everybody has these on hand, so I like to try and teach yoga with a method of using whatever you have on hand. A blanket would work really well too, a really thick blanket that you can roll up and get a nice shape with it. So starting out on our knees, if your knees can tolerate this. If your knees don't tolerate being on your knees, don't sit on your knees. But a little help from our bolster, put the bolster right behind you so you're nice and supported. That takes some of the pressure out of the knees. Or use a block or 2 if you happen to have yoga blocks. Then as we ground down here, a couple of deep breaths. One more deep breath. Just kind of a happy sigh. You're just happy to be doing some yoga today. All right. Our 5th chakra, the throat chakra, the Vishuddha, is right here in your throat, obviously. It does encompass the cervical spine and both sides of your neck. So as we find our way into our first little stretch here, let your arms hang heavy, and your right hand comes behind to grab your left elbow. I don't know if you can see that over here. I'm grabbing my left elbow. I'm going to turn around real quickly. You stay as you are. But as I turn around for a moment here, just so you can see what's going on from behind, my hand is reaching for my elbow. And then from here, take your left ear to your shoulder to open the right side of your neck. So close your eyes and breathe. As you hold here and breathe, I'm just going to explain a little bit more about the 5th chakra, the throat chakra. Our throat chakra is our place of communication. This is where we as human beings tend to communicate verbally. There's other forms of communication like touch, hugs, facial expression, talking with your hands. But for the most part, our vocal cords are how we communicate. So as you breathe here, start to exercise the vocal cords a little bit with some ujjayi breath. That's that slow, deep breath in and out of your nose. Slight constriction through the back of your throat, like you're trying to fog a mirror or your sunglasses to clean them. Some people call this the Darth Vader breath because you can hear the breath passing through the back of your throat. This helps exercise the vocal cords, warms up your body from the inside out. And also the sound, like waves of the ocean, is very calming to many people. Continue to hold here, but we're just going to change one thing. Take your chin towards your shoulder like you're looking down. So if your eyes open, you're looking down at the floor. This still gets a stretch through the side of your neck, but it's kind of taking a different approach. You get a little bit of a stretch through the side as well as the back side of the neck. Keep your chin down and breathe. Re-engage the ujjayi. 3 more breaths. As you gently bring your head back up to center, you're going to feel some sensations in the neck. So move slowly and gently. Once you're up to the top, let your right hand come down to the floor, and then take your left hand to the opposite elbow behind you and hold here. As you bring your right ear to your shoulder, open up the left side of your neck. You can close your eyes and breathe. And cultivating the ujjayi breath in and out of your nose, slight constriction through the back of your throat. Listening for the waves of the ocean in and out. A little more info on the throat chakra while you hold here. So you just hold and breathe. Our throat also has our thyroid gland in it. And at the base of the neck, the front of the throat, is the thymus gland. Keeping both those glands healthy and happy is pretty much a must for everybody. Your thyroid has a lot to do with your metabolism, and whether it's high or low or just right, giving your thyroid some love to balance it out or keep it balanced is always a good thing. Your thymus gland at the base of your throat, or about where the collarbones draw in, has a lot to do with your immune system. From here, gently taking our other position, so not much changes, just rotate your chin down. If your eyes were open, you're looking at the floor, but you're welcome to keep your eyes closed and breathe. And gently bring your head back up to center. Tune into any sensations, any tingliness, even a roll of your shoulders, whatever you might need to kind of help release that. All right, we're going to take this into Sphinx pose. Sphinx, you lay on your belly. So if you're pregnant, if you're very pregnant, you may not want to do this. Or if you have a sensitive stomach or it's hard for you to get back up from the floor, then you may not want to lay on your belly. But let's try and take it onto our belly here. So as you come on down into Sphinx, utilizing our homemade bolster, bring your rolled up towels in just under the lower ribs. That'll help support you here so you don't have to actually use your shoulders to hold you here. And then as you're here, take a deep breath in. And on the exhale, drop your chin to your chest. So we're finding a compression in the front of the throat. So if you feel kind of a lump in your throat and a compression, you've found what we're looking for. The back side of your neck is trying to open and lengthen. So through the cervical spine, we're trying to open up the space between each vertebra. And of course, breathe. Of course, coming back to the throat chakra, if our throat chakra is our center of communication, then an imbalance in the throat chakra could be having a hard time finding the words to say what you need to say. Or that feeling of always putting your foot in your mouth and saying the wrong thing would be an imbalance of the throat chakra. A healthy throat chakra would be to have the ability to speak your truth with grace, with kindness, and love. So as you hold here, some deep breaths, cultivating the truth within you. Be your true authentic self. There's no need to be anybody else or make up stories. Just be who you are. Life sometimes is crazy enough that we don't need to make up stories. Nice. On an inhale, start to lift your chin off your chest. And then gaze up for a little bit. So as you gaze up at the sky, feel your throat opening and the back of your neck gets a compression. This one's not as easy to hold. It's not quite as comfortable because you got to put some effort into it. But as you gaze up, open your throat. If you have a very healthy spine, I want to offer up seal pose. For seal, take your hands about as wide as your mat, or wider than your shoulders if you're not using a mat. And then press into the hands to open your heart a little more and gaze up. If this creates too much intensity, back off though. We're here to de-stress and feel better, not create more pain. And breathe. If you're looking up so much that your eyebrows are fully engaged, relax your eyebrows. Once you have your chin away from your chest, go ahead and close your eyes. Feel the opening through your throat and a compression in the back of your neck. 3 more breaths. One more breath. Open as much as you can. Then on the exhale, as your elbows come back to the mat, if they're not already, and hold neutral for a moment here. So think about trying to create a giraffe's neck. Think about trying to be as tall as you can as your neck lifts out of your shoulders. Just a nice neutral neck. You neither have a compression in the throat nor a crunch in the back of the neck. 2 more breaths. Nice. And by now, your back is going to be ready to come out of this pose. As you come up to tabletop, maybe a little bit of movement here after holding that pose. You can even round your back for cat as your belly pulls in tight. Nice. Moving your prop off to the side, we're going to take this into candlestick. So lie down onto your backside. Make sure your bolster is handy. And as you lie down onto your mat, this time, like you're going to come into bridge pose, if you know what bridge is. With your knees bent and your feet flat, start to lift your hips. Take your bolster or blocks. If you have blocks, use some blocks. But as you take your props underneath your lower back, it's kind of even supporting my lower back and my upper glutes, booty. Then your arms out to the side as your feet find their way to the ceiling. And breathe. Taking yourself upside down, notice where my throat is the lowest part of my body right now. So as we're trying to deliver fresh blood and nutrients from the lower body to your thyroid, your thymus gland, this also stimulates the lymphatic fluid to move. It's very much similar to sands through the hourglass, right? Turning yourself upside down and then coming upright. Only the sand is your blood and your lymph. So getting the bodily fluids to flow. Much like a nice, clean running spring of water rather than a stagnant, muddy, dirty pool of water. Imagine yourself as the stream, the beautiful flowing stream with clear water. And breathe. If you're not used to going upside down and feeling the water flow the opposite direction, or the sands through the hourglass flowing the opposite direction, this can feel a little bit foreign to you. Know that you're not alone, though. It does feel foreign to be upside down. Your feet might get cold, tingly. If it ever gets to be too much for you, simply bring your feet back to the mat as soon as possible. Otherwise, know this is completely normal, and breathe. From candlestick, just gently start to bring your feet back to flat. Then as you ground down, lift your hips up off of your rolled up blanket and blocks, and let the tailbone come on down. Some gentle little sways of the knees. A little bit of a twist, just because twisting is always good for the body and helps us get maybe a well-rounded practice today. So as you bring your knees in towards your chest, open up your arms to a T. Then gently lower your legs to the left first. So the right side of your body is the highest point on your body. Now turn your head to gaze towards your right hand. And breathe. Breathe into your right side body. With turning your head, we've taken this twist from our tailbone through your spine, even through the throat chakra and the neck, all the way to the tip-top of your head. You can repeat your mantra. I speak my truth, and I speak with kindness. Out 5 more breaths. Gently with an inhale, return back up to center. Pause in the center, maybe a little rock side to side like an egg on a countertop. Then as you're ready, enter the other twist. Drop both legs to the right as you turn your head to the left. Remember, turning your head to the left is what gets the twist through the throat chakra. Breathe into your left side body. Even feeling this twist from the tip of your tailbone through the middle of your back and your neck to the tip-top of your head. Keep a deep breath going. Even listen for your breath as it moves past the vocal cords in your throat. And repeat your mantra. I speak my truth, and I speak with kindness. About 5 more breaths from here. Gently with an inhale, bring your knees back up to center. And bring them into your chest, a gentle little rock side to side. And then gently come up to seated. The safest way to come up to seated would be to roll onto your right or left side and gently use both hands to press you up to seated. All right, once up to seated, we're going to turn this into a little bit of a heart opener. So using blocks or a bolster again, you want it to support your spine. And as you lie back for this variation, try and get your head to dip down and your throat to open. This can be a little bit uncomfortable for some. So if you needed some extra support, maybe put something under the tip of your head, but still try and find some opening through the throat. If you can let your head hang without any support, just let your head and neck relax. You can keep a bend in your knees. Tailbone is on the floor. Take notice, my booty is actually touching the floor. Breathe. About 5 more breaths here. Remember to repeat your mantra if you haven't already. I speak my truth, and I speak with kindness. As you prepare for some movement, continue to breathe. Coming off of your props, simply just roll onto your right side. Come into a fetal position for a moment here and breathe. Tune into any lasting sensations through your spine and neck. as you release your heart opener. Then gently from here, and gently from your fetal position, coming onto your backside. Taking our final Shavasana, lying belly up. From Shavasana, though, your bolster will serve you well underneath your knees or the thighs just above the knees. Open your arms up wide. Relax your jaw. Relax the soft spot between your eyebrows. If your mind has a tendency to drift when you're in Shavasana, continue to maybe repeat your mantra to yourself quietly or just in your mind. In our mantra, though, I speak my truth and I speak with kindness. This is even kindness to ourselves. Often the way we treat ourselves is how we treat others. So treat yourself with kindness. Even treat yourself with the truth. Resist starting to even believe the stories that we tend to make up. You know yourself better than anyone. So resist lying to yourself. Knowing that to cultivate a healthy throat chakra, we need to be honest and truthful with ourselves, as well as how we speak. And treat yourself with kindness. We'll be here for at least 3 more minutes. If you want to pause the video and stay longer, you're welcome to. Otherwise, just relax and breathe. If you'd like to stay lying down, you can stay on your back. If you want to gently work your way up to seated though, start to roll onto your right side again, coming into a gentle fetal position. Pause for a breath in and out. And gently use your hands to press you back up to seated. This is where we will complete our practice today of the throat chakra. If you've been journaling through this series, I encourage you to maybe take 5 minutes after this module to journal. Or maybe you were able to squeeze it in somewhere else. But today being such a grounded practice and a lot of belly up, it's hard to find time to journal during your practice. So take 3 to 5 minutes here and journal your thoughts on the throat chakra. And maybe where you can speak your truth just a little bit more. From the light in me to the light in each and every one of you. Honor your practice, honor your life, honor all 7 chakras. And remember to speak your truth and speak with kindness. Thumbs to your third eye center. As I bow to you all, namaste. And thank you for joining me in this journey.